Hey, Angela, I've been giving this some thought, and here's what I got for you. I call these boss questions. This is something that I came up with in teaching third, fourth, and fifth grade math that has, frankly, sort of changed the way that I look at teaching in general. All it requires for you to pull this off is a worksheet or a quiz or something from your son. This is actually not one of the ones I believe that he uses. This is one that I use in my math teaching. It comes from Jump Math. I really like their stuff. But you can use, frankly, anything. Again, this is also a quiz. You can use homework or what have you, test, whatever you want. I want to get rid of this. Okay, and you can do this all in 4 easy steps. Step number 1 is to start with the problem that is the hardest. So ordinarily, when students are doing stuff, they start with the easy things, and then gradually they move on to the middle difficulty things, and then only finally do they get to the very hardest things. This seems to me to be stupid, because it can be great for a lot of people, and of course it makes a lot of sense. But for someone like your son, who is naturally gifted at math, this is death. Instead, just nix out. He is hereby excused from having to do any of the easy problems if he can solve the hard problems. Let's actually take a look at this, shall we? Anna wants to buy an MP3 player that costs $35 and has already saved $7. Anna decides to save the same amount of money each month for the next 4 months. Write an expression, so exciting, to show the amount of money that she has to save each month. Okay, so you are going to just excerpt that one thing from all of this. And then step 2, what you are going to do is to make that problem even harder, because that problem is not hard enough to grab your son's engagement. Here's what I came up with. Anna wants to buy an active volcano that costs $35,678. She's already saved $92. She wants to have the volcano in time for her best friend's birthday, which is in 40 days. Write an expression to show how much money she'll have to save each and every day to buy that volcano. Okay, you've taken this, you've made this ridiculous. I want to point out that we haven't changed any of the concepts that are inside of this, right? This is the same word, almost exactly the same word problem, even word for word. We're just making the numbers and, in this situation, some of the crucial nouns slightly different for this. You wouldn't think this would make a big difference in how kids engage a problem. Kids are surprising creatures. Then the step 3 for all of this is to take it out of the worksheet, because worksheets are where creativity goes to be snuffed out. Write it on a piece of paper. It's okay if it's a piece of printer paper. If you have any kind of bigger paper at home, that's even better. Make sure to save a lot of blank space around the margins like this for him to think with his pencil. There. For him to think with his pencil. This is a huge thing. Oftentimes in math classes, just think back to when you were in math class. How many times per day did you personally ask a question in your math class? Most people would say like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 4. Professional mathematicians are asking questions all of the time. So you want to actually design space to ask questions all through the margins of the page. When I'm in class, I incentivize my students. They get a point or a rock, or we have our own system in class, but whatever, your mileage may vary. I incentivize them by giving them a cool little thing whenever they write down a stupid question on the outside of the margin. The questions are sometimes really dumb. They are like, why would she only start saving for her best friend's birthday 40 days ahead of it? Why would anyone wish to have an active volcano? They can be those sorts of things. Oftentimes they're more like, how would I go about solving this? What am I even being asked to solve for in the first place? What is an expression? And do I have to do it every day? And you can do all these sorts of things. When you can think out loud and ask questions on paper, it makes the actual thinking about this big hard thing so much easier. And then step 4 is to, and this is the crucial parts, give your son a choice. Present him with this one problem that he can do, and if he does that, he doesn't have to do any of this because he understands almost all of this. But if he wants to give up on the boss question, he can always just go back to the worksheet, and then it's his choice. Then he's not being forced to do it. Then he might, here's a prediction, I'm crossing my fingers here, he might actually do the stupid worksheets much more quickly than he otherwise would. Okay, so why does any of this work when this works? I will say that this has been game-changing day and night sort of difference for me in my math teaching with the math group that I work with in my elementary school. The thing is that we hate, as human beings, as kids, as people with ADHD, and as human beings, we despise challenges that we're just forced into. This is right the hell of this whole coronavirus thing, is that literally 0 people in the world, except for maybe that one guy who contracted the virus because he was competing in a toilet licking contest. So that guy, one guy aside, none of the rest of us chose this, and that is why our suffering is so horrible. But suffering chosen can be wonderful. It can be adventure. Approaching math with a boss question and an option to solve it instead of the ordinary humdrum stuff can make an ordinary math sheet into a very, very small but earnest and true adventure. All right, good luck with this. I am curious to see how this goes.